I am sick and tired of biting my tongue. So I'm just going to say what I want to say, but understand that this is just my opinion, and my opinion is subject to change. But in just a few moments, I will provide you with some facts that led to me forming this opinion. But my opinion is that they were pretty confident that they were going to take Trump out, which is why they put forth very little effort to cover their tracks. If Donald Trump was taken out that day at the rally, all of this information that we're getting right now, it wouldn't be out there. All of these news updates, the Secret Service, the FBI, local police department releasing information, none of that information would have been released. It would have been classified. It would have been top secret. Just like with JFK, they would have used an excuse that, releasing the details would be a security threat to Joe Biden or future presidents. They would have covered and wrapped everything up so we never knew the details that we know now. But Trump lived. Trump survived. And like I said, I really feel like they were confident that he wasn't going to. Because look at how much time they gave the suspect. And yes, I say they gave the suspect. Look at how much time they gave him without doing anything. And from the location that the suspect was at, it doesn't take the most well-trained shooter in the world to pull that off. But because Donald Trump survived, they're having to give us tidbits of the truth. They're having to release tidbits of the truth, tidbits of information. But even the little bit of information they've provided, it's more than enough to show that they kind of let this happen. And here's the facts. Let's get into the facts. Why do I think this? Well, we now know that law enforcement not only spotted Thomas Matthew Crooks multiple times, they took pictures. The craziest part is that the building that Thomas Matthew climbed on top of, that building was occupied by law enforcement and by sniper teams. Law enforcement literally watched Thomas Matthew Crooks from inside the building that he climbed on top of. They watched him come to the building, leave, go get a rangefinder. They watched him leave again and go get a backpack. They took photos. They took note. They noticed that he was suspicious. And if you look at the type of building that they were in, it's the type of building where, hell, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it if someone's climbing up the building and walking on the roof. That's the way that's the type of building that it looks like to me. But at first we were like, man, how in the hell did they not see this guy? How did they not know? But after all of this information has been released, we know that they knew. We know that they watched. We know that Thomas was up on that rooftop for over 20 minutes. And he wasn't up there for over 20 minutes without law enforcement knowing. No, ladies and gentlemen, they knew. That's how crazy all of this is. So if you heard what I said at the beginning of this video and you have a problem with my opinion, all I will say is, how thick is the wool that is over your eyes right now? I don't care how you feel about this guy, that guy, or this person, or law enforcement, or this or that. You cannot look at the official facts, the official details that have been released. You can't look at this stuff and not scratch your head. You can't look at this stuff and not think that something had to be going on here. They messed up big time. It's incompetence. I'm over that. I'm over blaming incompetence for every single thing that goes wrong in America, and we've had a lot going wrong. I'm done blaming incompetence. Because if it was incompetence, then why, during the security meeting before the rally, why did they note that this building was a place of interest, that this building was a high security risk? But You know, I kept thinking, oh, this was like some unoccupied building in the back. No, police were inside the building. Now, I'm sorry. You can call me a conspiracy theorist. You can call me any name in the book that you want to. I don't care. I'm not going to be convinced. Not a single soul on planet Earth is going to convince me that this suspect got away with this as he was being watched by law enforcement, Secret Service, and sniper teams for over 30 minutes. Multiple photos taken. You can't convince me. But we've also heard from a lot of people who were at the rally. And one thing that I've been hearing lately is that you see a lot of these people who go to these Donald Trump rallies, they travel around and they go to a lot of them. So there's a lot of people in the crowd who have been to previous rallies in different areas, and they noticed something weird. They noticed that there was a major difference in security at this rally. That there was a major difference in the amount of visible sniper teams and what have you, Secret Service and what have you. I want to go ahead and roll this clip. I want you all to listen closely to what this guy has to say. And I want you to think long and hard about everything that has been uncovered so far. And if you can, if you're capable of doing so, provide all of us, please, provide all of us with a valid explanation as to how this happened. Please. I am desperate to hear a valid explanation as to how this could have happened, as they watched it happen. But I'm going to roll this clip and then I'll be right back with more.
We just heard the mayor there of Slippery Rock talk about the other Butler rally that he had been to. You were talking to me about that rally as well. Tell me the message you wanted me to understand, because there was something different about that rally versus this rally that you noticed.
Yeah, my daughter and I went, I guess it was 4 years ago, it was at the Butler Airport, not even 5 miles from here. It was an awe-inspiring event. We were just like, wow. But the one thing we noticed, we walked in there and her and I, you know, we're close. And the one thing we noticed that the airport has a lot of hangars, buildings kind of like this, but they hold planes. Every rooftop of every hangar had 3, 4, 5 guys on top of it with
When
guns.
you say guys, snipers? Law enforcement with long guns on top?
Long guns, okay. Yes. And even some of them in the sniper position, just scanning everywhere. And my daughter turned to me.
To the point where you got there, you noticed them right away.
Immediately. It was the first thing she said to me. She goes, "Oh my gosh, Dad, look at this." She goes, "I never felt so safe in my life." Those were her exact words.
This is 4 years ago in the rally by the airport.
Correct.
The other airport.
Right.
Okay.
So she didn't come with me this time because she's eight months pregnant, and the heat and everything else, but she really wanted to. So that was so much on our minds there that we talked about it for, I don't know, we just talked about it. We were like so awe-inspired by the, wow. First thing I did when I got here yesterday was I did a complete look around at every rooftop. And I said to myself, that's strange. I don't see one cop, sniper, nothing. I don't see anything. And I just thought, that was kind of weird.
And at what time is this when you're sort of looking around trying to see what you saw 4 years ago?
It's probably about, 4 years ago, we noticed...
Today, or yesterday. What time was that when you started looking?
Probably about 2 hours before he came on stage.
Okay.
But I didn't stop looking because it's something that was in my mind because of it was so noticeable back then, but it was also just as noticeable not being that way.
And then did you notice, because on that barn right there, that's where the law enforcement snipers were that engaged with the alleged assassin. Did you notice them?
I did not. I noticed nobody because I scanned every roof. And I just thought it was strange.
One thing that everyone needs to keep in mind is that this is not one of those average type of events. This is a former president, most likely a future president. Okay? This is not a little concert outside. This isn't a little shindig. You know, I would understand, listen, if you have a security team and they notice suspicious behavior, oh, look at this young kid. He's trying to creep into a concert. and you didn't take it seriously and you kind of let it slip by, okay. Maybe you're at a water park or at the fairground and you notice, oh, this guy's trying to sneak in without a wristband. Okay. Sometimes you can note the suspicious activity and be like, all right, whatever. Because it's not that serious. But this is the former, possibly future president. Secret Service is there. Yet somehow the security at Costco is tighter than the security at that Trump rally. Try going to Costco and getting out of there without a Costco card. You can't. They're going to check you at the door. They're going to check you when you leave. They're going to check you at the checkout. Meanwhile, at the Trump rally, a 20-year-old nerd, while literally being observed the entire time by Secret Service and law enforcement, he climbs up on a building with a rifle and he does what he does. You wouldn't get away with that at Costco. You literally wouldn't. So why am I supposed to believe that this just happened? Because like I said, folks, this is not one of those average events where you can notice something weird or you notice someone sneaking in or doing this and you just let it go because you know it's not a big deal. This is the type of event, when you're someone who's protecting Donald Trump, this is the type of event when if you notice one small thing being off, you do something about it and you step in. That is what is usually done. There's weird, suspicious activity at a lot of these rallies and at a lot of political events. There's suspicious activity that you never hear of because the Secret Service and security does their job and they neutralize the threat or they get the threat out of there or they confront the threat in a timely manner without allowing things to go too far. So the moment that someone noticed something suspicious, something should have been done. If you notice someone acting weird, you step in. Hey, maybe you got it wrong. Maybe the guy's just, kind of weird and he wasn't going to do anything bad. Well, it's better safe than sorry. And that's how these events are. It's a better safe than sorry policy. You don't get a second chance or a third chance to act weird or to be suspicious in front of the Secret Service. No, as soon as you make one false move or you do one thing that makes people feel awkward or feel suspicious, they go ahead and they confront that situation. But that's not what was done. What was done, for lack of better words, for a lack of, I honestly don't know how any other way to explain it other than they sat there and patiently watched as Thomas Matthew Crooks plotted the assassination of Donald Trump. They watched him find the location, pick a location. They watched him get his rangefinder. They watched him go and get his backpack. And then they saw that he was scaling up the building. So I'm sorry, folks. You're just not going to convince me that there is not something weird going on here. But you let me know what you think is going on down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.